All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the session tonight. This session is majorly about relationships. It's called value based networking, how to connect, create, and manage profitable relationships. This is going to be a very important session for a lot of people because it is super important to know what relationships can do for you and how you can get to create one for yourself. But if you're live already, you can go ahead and let me know in the chat box. I can see a lot of you that are live right now. I also know that a number of you will be watching the replays. We'll get started almost immediately just so we can go right into it. So I'm just bringing up my video now so we can, yes, I'm bringing up my video now so we can go live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Growth Accelerator session. If you can see me and you can hear me, let me know in the chat box. I can see and hear me, and we will get right into it. I can see Balkis, I can see Emmanuel, Esoser, Ugo. I'll get to say hi to all of you at the end of the session. So if you're live, make sure you stay to the end. So the topic is value-based networking, how to connect, create, and manage profitable relationships. If you know someone that is supposed to be here, this is a short opportunity for you to go ahead and share this video. Let them know that we are now live. Let them know that we've started the session and the session has started. A number of you have already joined, but yeah, you can let them know. So value-based relationships, value-based networking, how to connect, create, and manage profitable relationships. Now, there are some things that are too important to be talked about at the magnitude they are currently talked about. I'll explain what I mean. There are some factors when it comes to growth. These are growth accelerator sessions. There are some factors when it comes to growth that are too important to be explained, to be talked about at the frequency and at the magnitude is currently being talked about. What I mean is this. It's just like you want to cook. I don't know why I keep using food as an example when I don't know anything about the kitchen, right? But it's just like you want to cook a meal. Let me use let's I don't know. I want to use fried rice, but I'm not even sure what is the number of things that are there. Let's say, for example, you want to make a meal. You want to cook, for example, there's a soup in Nigeria called egusi soup, right? So you want to make egusi soup, and you have learned and you have gotten all the other ingredients apart from apart from the main ingredient itself, which is like the egusi itself, right? So you've not gotten that. And people are emphasizing so much on the other things that they're not talking about some things that are main, some things that are major. This is a really big issue. And why I'm talking about this is because we're at a time when there are so many factors, so many things responsible for success, so many things that are possible to get you to a point that is called successful. But among those things, there are also some things that are so important that if you don't put them in perspective, what happens is as you're trying to get all the other things that you've heard are responsible, you miss out on this one and you miss out a lot. Relationships is one of these things. Relationship is so important, right? So when you go to sessions, there is lots of talk about a lot of things, especially when it comes to marketing, growth, digital marketing, making money online, things like that. A lot of things are being talked about, right? But then the factor of relationships is not emphasized well enough. And why I'm talking about this is sincerely, relationships are a do or die affair. Let me just be really sincere. See, it is so important that relationships are as far as a do or die affair. And I'm saying this with confidence because that is how it has always been from the beginning. If you read the creation story, you'll find out that before anything was created, an environment for it was first created. So before plants were created, there was the creation of dry land. Before fish was created, there was the creation of water. Before man was created, there was the creation of the earth. So there's always the creation of the environment before the thing that thrives in the environment. The ability of something to thrive or of a living thing to thrive depends majorly on the relationship of that living thing with the environment. So if today a fish decides that this water is too hot, or I'm just not enjoying this. I've been seeing monkeys jumping about, and it's my turn. I want to get out there. I need to arise and shine and all those things, and decides to leave the water and climb a tree, what happens? That fish will die. It's not me. The fish will die. And it is so important that you know that the relationship of a living thing with the factors that support life, there are factors that support life, and I'll go into that. So the relationship with a living thing, with the factors that support the living thing's life, is what keeps that living thing alive. That's just the truth. So relationship is a do or die affair. You can write that down in the chat box. Relationship is a do or die affair. That's just to show you how important it is. So if you miss out in relationships, if you create, you connect, you start up relationships that are not profitable, that are not moving you forward, relationships that are relatively inconsequential, they're not moving you forward in any way, what happens? The result you get from that is terrible stagnation, and in worst case scenarios, even death. That's how bad it is. Many people have risen, many people have gone far and high and as high as possible just because of relationships. So it is really important what we'll be talking about today. Really, really important. Now, let me give you another analogy. The way a ship moves, right, on water. So there's what is called, there's the ship itself, there's water, and then there's what is called an anchor. What an anchor does is that an anchor, to an extent, keeps the ship in a particular place or positions the ship in a particular place. It is an important relationship. The relationship of a ship to an anchor is important for a period of time, for a purpose. All right? But when it is time for the ship to set sail, one of the first things that happens is that ship is removed. The relationship between the ship and the anchor is first cut off. And I'm starting this way because there are some of you that one of the things that you need to do would be to check what are the relationships that are still anchors for you. Some of you have not been able to move forward, not because you don't have what it takes. The ship has everything it takes to sail on water. The ship has everything it takes to move, to thrive on the sea and the winds and the wave. But because of that relationship with the anchor, it still cannot go ahead. We'll get to talk about that. But for tonight and for this session, I'll be going really straight to the point to talk about, value-based networking. How can you really connect? How can you really create? How can you really manage profitable relationships? Now, this is going to be step by step. I'll just take it one step after the other, and then we'll look at this, and this session will come to an end. Now, the first thing you need, if you know that you're ready from now to actually start connecting, to actually start, creating and managing profitable relationships, the first thing you need for you to start up that process is what is called acknowledgement. You can write that down. Acknowledgement, or recognizing the need. So number one is recognize the need, or acknowledgement. It is impossible to create, to even connect in the first place, to create or manage a relationship that you've not acknowledged the need for it. You've not recognized the need for it. You do not have any idea why this relationship happened. I remember in 2019, was it 2019? I think 2019 December during my retreat. Yeah, I think 2019 December during my retreat. I made, for the first time, I was setting goals, and for the first time I set what I called relationship goals. For the first time, I have never done that kind of thing before. I took out a book, my goal book, and I wrote down specific names for specific reasons. I wrote down specific names of people that I wanted to have a relationship with, right? And they were both inspired, but then they were purposeful. Some of you have not yet recognized the need to have any sort of relationship with someone. You've not yet recognized any need at all. You can't have a relationship with someone that is profitable. We're talking about profitable relationships here. So you can't have a relationship, you can't connect, you can't create, you can't manage a relationship with someone if you've not recognized the need for that relationship. You actually don't care. You don't know why you need to relate to this person. And this just doesn't apply to relationships upwards. Because when you talk about recognizing needs, one of the first things that comes to your mind is, oh, I need something. So who can I get this thing from upwards? And while that is true, it is not the only thing. Some of you need to recognize the need of the relationship that is at your level. So you need to recognize the need of a relationship that is seemingly, because it's always seemingly below you, seemingly below your level, those that you mentor. So when I say recognize the need, I'm not just talking about upwards. No. Why do you need to invest in someone? Are you someone that believes in the principle that God cannot be mocked? Whatsoever a man sows, he shall reap. Do you believe in that principle? If you believe in that principle that God cannot be mocked and anything a man sows, he shall reap, then you will know that there is a need to have a relationship with someone that is seemingly below you. I keep using seemingly because these things around strata, levels, and things like that is apparent to an extent. It's based on a lot of things, time, seasons, values, and a lot of things. So I'll use seemingly. If you truly believe, someone should look for that verse for me and maybe put it in chat box. It says that God cannot be mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, that he shall reap. So if you know that that principle is something you believe in, right, you will recognize the need to have a relationship with people that are coming to your inbox. Yes, of course, they may not have anything to give you right now, and that's fine. That's okay. They may not have so much to give you right now, and that's okay. But do you know that God cannot be mocked? And if you, whatever you sow, you reap. If you know that, then you will know that you need to sow into these people, sow into their lives. It could be words, it could be your time, it could be simple things. This content is sowing, literally sowing. It's because I believe in a principle. So we're still talking about recognizing the need, but I'm just trying to expatiate on that. That's the first point. So if you don't recognize that need, when people come to you, there may be several reasons why you may not be able to accommodate them, right? It could be that your time is limited, and that's fair. That's okay. It could be that there are some people that are just coming to collect, to get, and things like that. That's why you need to have discernment. You need to know what you need to attend to part time. But this is all about recognizing the need. None of those relationships will start without recognizing the need. Not a relationship with someone above, not a relationship with someone at your level, not a relationship with someone that is below you. Some of you, you've completely ignored everybody that's at your level. You're trying to look for relationships above you. I'll talk about that as we go on. But then there is need for every relationship. So when I talk about recognizing the need, what I'm saying in essence is that there is need for several levels of relationship. There's a need for a relationship above you, your mentors. There's a need for a relationship at your level, your peers, and there's a need for relationships with mentees, with people that are below you, in quotes. Not below you is just is in quotes, right? People that you're mentoring. There's a need. So ask yourself, why do I need to have this kind of relation? Of course, not with everybody, because you have to choose. That's the discernment part of things. You have to identify, you have to choose. I told you that there was a time that I had to make a list of the people I wanted to have a relationship with. And I don't think I've said this before, not even to Gossip Toby, because she's on the chat right now. But at that time, right, her name was on that list. And to a large extent, we have a relationship at this time. I talked about a list earlier, that I made a list of some people that I wanted to connect with intentionally, very intentionally. I wanted to connect with them intentionally. For some of them, it happened as fast as possible. For some of them, it took a long time. But after a period of time, the people that were on that list, I think it's just like one person or two that I don't have like a direct talking relationship with. Why? Because I saw that there was a need to connect. There was a need for a relationship. I recognize that I'm not so sufficient on my own. I need to be able to give of myself and also receive from others. That is the first thing. You will never seek profitable relationships if you don't know that there's a need for it. You will never. You will never go out of your way, all right? You will never go out of your way to ask for, or rather to put out a hand to have a relationship with someone if you don't recognize that. And that's the first point. Let me take it a step further. The second thing that is important, if you want to do what is called value-based networking, after we recognize the need, if your goal is to create and manage profitable relationships, the second thing that is really important is to become a person of ever increasing value. You can write that down in the chat box. Those words are carefully picked. The second thing you need to do is to become a person of ever increasing value. Ever increasing value. This means that you are not sticking to the value level you were at when the relationship started. Are you following me? There's some of you that the reason why you're not able to manage a profitable relationship is because the same way you were in 2018 when you people became friends for the first time, that is the exact way that you are. It will be difficult to manage a relationship if you are never increasing in value. You need to become a person of ever increasing value. And how do you ensure that, right? You ensure that process. You can go and check my session on which of them are there, a number of them. Growth Accelerator, you can check that out. You can check becoming a master, my session on mastery. But you can ensure this process of ever increasing value by making sure that you're engaging in a systemized personal development project. Do you hear me? So you need a system for personal development. That means you are not leaving your personal development to chance. You know that in the next 3 months, you will grow in this area. In the next 5 months, you will improve in this area. You need a system for personal development. This is how you become a person of ever increasing value. And I'll tell you why this is important, right? There are some things that are being talked about a lot, and one of those things is, to a large extent, right? The people that, to an extent, come towards you, the people you gravitate around, are people that, to an extent, are around the same value level with you. That's just the truth. So you will know that for you to attract a certain circle of people, a certain kind of people, right? You need to increase your value. The more you increase your value, you find out that almost automatically the people you relate with begins to change. This is how it works. If you are looking for you want to break into circles, you say something like, you want to enter into, how can you just enter into a circle? No. Inside every circle, there's a value level. In every circle, there's a value level. So you can't just say you want to break into circles. Are not generational curses. You can't just break it. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. You have to increase your value. When your value gradually starts coming to par with the value of the circles that you're dreaming about, what happens is getting either engaged with that circle or even creating a circle of your own is super easy. It's not, and I'll talk about, I'm still coming to that, right? It's not every relationship circle that you admire that you need to be a part of. You can admire it to be a template so you can create yours. You don't necessarily need to be in all those circles for you to succeed. All right. So if you want to enter into circles, there's an energy level of value in every circle. So what do? You need to intentionally become a person of ever increasing value. There's this statement that is being made. It's a misquote to a large extent, but it's been made. How many of you have heard of this statement before? That one, we chased 1,000, and two, we chased 10,000. How many of you have heard of that statement before? One, we chased 1,000, and two, we chased 10,000, right? And that statement is credited to the Bible, and there's a part of it in the Bible. But let me just use a minute and talk about that a bit. That particular statement. Can someone look for the exact verse that statement was in the Bible? I think somewhere around Deuteronomy. I'm not sure, but someone can check that out for me. Anybody in the chat box, and put it there in the chat box for me. So it's something that says, one, we chase 1,000, and two, we chase 10,000. The full verse. If you look at the full verse, the emphasis was not on. It was not really on the one or the two. The emphasis was on God, but I won't go deep into that, right? I won't go deep into that in this session. The emphasis was, someone should get that. I think it would be easier if someone gets that verse for me and puts it in the chat box. I'll display it. The emphasis was not on the one or the two, but let me use that statement. One, we chase 1,000, and two, we chase 10,000. What some people hear, once they hear that statement, what comes to their mind immediately is the second part. Two, we chase 10,000. So what do they start doing? They start looking for someone that they can join their body with so that they can do what? Chase 10,000. You have forgotten that before two is chasing 10,000, one has already chased 1,000. Where is the 1,000 that you have chased? Where's your own 1,000? So we are in a hurry to look for the two that will chase 10,000 without even thinking about ourselves to know if we ourselves have been able to chase 1,000. You want to go and become an absolute burden on an innocent person. Yeah, this is it. Thank you. I think Ugo has put it out in chat box. Let me try and bring this up. So can you see this? So it's a question. It's a simple question. There are like two places this type of statement appears, right? So how should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight except their rock had sold them and the Lord has shut them up? This can we get a simpler translation? Because KJV, I think Joseph Augustine puts another one. So one man would chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight. Let's have the full verse, because it's a full verse that has been that a part of it has been cut off. It was emphasizing majorly on the place of God when it comes to results. That's the full verse, right? But then just to take this first part, let me just use Joseph's quote. Just to take this first part, one man will first chase 1,000 before two will put 10,000 to flight. So as an individual, as one person, it's important you first desire and ask yourself, how am I chasing my own 1,000? Before you think about how to put so many people to flight and things like that, think about your own self. Are you really chasing 1,000? And then when you hear some of these things, you have to go back and check for where they came from. Because when you read this and you understand it properly, you find out that the emphasis was not on the one or the two. It was on the fact that for you to have this result, you must have the backing of God. You can't have this result without the backing of God. The results of 1,000 or 10,000. But that's not the focus of tonight, right? It's just something that I have to talk about. Okay, so a number of people are bringing that up. That's great. So can you see this? Can you see the full verse? All right, the full verse has that emphasis on the place of God. But let's not talk about that tonight. So you attract people that are at the value level with you. The question you need to ask yourself is, will you want to have a relationship with yourself? If you've not been able to answer this question sincerely, you will keep on attracting relationships that are unprofitable. Some of you want great relationships, but you yourself have not been able to work on yourself in a way that you are a person of value. If you become a person of value, I can almost guarantee you that relationships will not be one of the things that you lack. Right? So have a personal development system. What is your system for developing yourself? What's your system for growing your spiritual life? What's your system for growing your career? What's your system for growing yourself in the many ways you can? Would you want to have a relationship with you? That is the question. So the statement is what? I didn't say become a person of value. No. Become a person of ever increasing value. Ever increasing. Ever increasing. That's the key word. Ever increasing. Don't stay at the level of the value that started the relationship. Do not remain there. Ever increasing value. If you want to manage a profitable relationship, make sure your value is ever increasing. This is just it. When it comes to the normal realm of relationships, human beings are generally transactional to a large extent, right? You can't really sustain a relationship when there is no two-way system. And I'll talk about that in the next point. So let's go to the next point very quickly. The next point that's the third point. Number 3, for you to connect, create, and manage a profitable relationship. Number 3 is to give and to serve. So the word is to give, right? But then there's also service somewhere. So give, that's the word. If you want to connect, you want to create, you want to manage a profitable relationship, you must be a giving person. Many of us have broken relationships. You've ended profitable relationships because you are always receiving every single time. You're always at the point where you are the one taking, you're the one collecting. How are you able to give? Sometimes I literally feel for people that do things for me, they know this, right? So when you do something for me, I'm almost always thinking of how I can, to an extent, do something more for you, like 10 times more, right? It's always the way I am. It's the way I'm wired. I'm thinking more to give than to receive. Sometimes I'm almost blocking reception, which is not healthy on its own, right? But then that just shows my thinking pattern. How can I give? So if you want to become, or if you want to create and manage a profitable relationship, you must be giving, you must be serving. Do not say there's nothing you can give. There are three major things. What can you give? Let me answer this. There are three major things you can give. Everybody has these three things. Everybody. Three things. Number one, time. Once you're born, from the day you were born, right, you have time. You say, I don't have it. You have time. Everybody that was born has time. Of course, your time may be prioritized. You may be busy. You may have a lot of things to do, but you have time. It's just that your time is being used for something else. If you're in a relationship, I'm not saying you should talk for 1 hour every day or 2 hours or 3 hours every day. No, but to manage every relationship that will be profitable, you must be able to give some sort of time to that relationship. Sometimes it can be once a month. Sometimes even once in 2 months, depending on what kind of relationship we're talking about, right? But you must give some part of your time to the relationship. There are some of you that do not even have to be here at all, right? I'll use a very simple example. You notice that some people would be here, people that are my friends, people that are my people, they will be here. Why are they here? Sincerely, there's some of the things I talk about that you already know, but there are people that are here to support. It is their time. I don't take it for granted. It will look as if I'm just calling names. I can see Madame Landlady here, for example. I can see Esosa. I can see Kariat Bella. I can see Ugo. I can see Rukoya. I can see Emmanuel Joseph. I can see Joseph Augustine. There are people that have, to an extent, they have an idea, a good idea of some of the things I'm talking about. But then the fact that they can give a part of their time to be a part of something that I am doing is it's kind of a born creation. It shows that there's some sort of value for this person. There's a lot of value for what this person offers. And it is something that I may not talk about, but I don't take for granted. This is just how this works. So your time is the first thing you can give. And everybody has time. It doesn't have to be every time, but everybody has time. The second thing you can give is your energy. Some of you need to give your energy. Your energy can be in terms of your skill. And when it comes to skill, time is also skill. So sometimes if you want to do something for someone, you need time to do it. All right. But the second thing that everybody has is energy. You can give your energy. This thing called service, this thing called giving, it is literally what made me. I remember the first time I was able to connect with my mentor, Elisha Maman. And one of the things I thought about when we had our first conversation, I went back home and I thought deeply, how can I have a relationship with this man? He literally had, he had literally everything you can think about. Like, I was coming from his house, amazing place, amazing cars, wonderful family. Like, you get to that point where you're like, okay, so how can you have a relationship with this person? And I was thinking sincerely. And at home, I was thinking, I was like, how can I do this? And one day it struck me that, he speaks to young people. He speaks to people a lot. He loves giving back to people. So what did I do? Some of you don't know about this, but this is what I did. I went ahead to learn video editing. The first time I learned video creation and editing, it wasn't because I wanted to learn it as a skill. No. It was because I wanted to get an opportunity to serve my mentor, Elisha Mama. Let me tell you the story. I remember that day very vividly. So I was at home. I started watching videos on video editing. I remember when Samuel began to learn video editing and he was asking me if I know this video, I was literally telling him what was in the video. Why I have watched this thing long ago. But why did I watch it? I watched videos on mobile videography. There was no camera, there was no nothing. I was using a Note 3. I have a Note 8 here. I have an iPhone 13. But at then, I was using a Note 3, a Samsung Galaxy Note 3, which had, to an extent, a fair enough camera. But what did I do? I learned mobile videography. I didn't think I'll ever be using an actual camera. So I learned mobile videography, how to take videos with your phone, how to take clips, how to move your camera around. I learned a lot of these things. Why was I learning those things? To serve. So I remember one morning, one evening, I saw a flyer. My mentor was going to speak, and I told him, "Oh, can I come with you for this? I would like to do video. I would like to video the program." And he said, "Oh, I can come. That's fine." That was the first time, the first day that he was going to be taking me in his car to anywhere. So I remember I got home that day. I put out my phone. What happened was I took a video of him coming out of the office, of his home office, and I just started that clip. I took a video of him entering his car. I took a video of him at the venue. I took a video of him leaving the venue, him talking with people. I just took several very interesting clips and I edited them and I put them together. And I remember when I showed him and he was like, "Oh, this is really great," and stuff. When I look at that video now, I know that he was just encouraging me because there was nothing great about the video. But then I am sure that he saw the hearts of serve. Why did I say there was nothing great? I was just learning. That was my first time. So although the video was okay, but it wasn't as great as he made it seem. But what did that do? It encouraged me. And guess what happened? The next time he wanted to go out, guess who he called? Me. So when people say that, oh, Fee, how did you have a close relationship with your mentor? It was service. It was literally service. The next time, what happened? He called me again. Next time, what? He called me. When he needs someone to come around for something, who does he call? Fee. Why? Because Fee is someone that is resourceful around him. So I learned how to do a lot of things, not because of myself. I learned mobile photography. I learned videography. I learned website design. I learned a lot of things. And later, website design was the first thing that started putting money on, giving me money. Because what? I learned it to serve my mentor. I first learned it to serve, but then later on, it was the major source of income for me at the point in time. I remember when I got paid my first 15,000 naira to design a website. I was so happy. 15K to design a full website. Domain and hosting is like, as I then was around 8K or 9K or thereabouts. But I had like 6K to spare. I was very proud of myself. I've made it, right? But this is something I learned in service. I'm not even talking about the benefits of service. I'm talking about how service is important for relation. Do you want to create a relationship with someone? Serve in a way. There's some of you that you say, "Oh, who do you want to create a relationship with?" You call someone, you say, "Madam Landlady." Madam Landlady is having a session on Friday. She's having a session tomorrow. She has a flyer for it. You have never shared it. You have never invited someone to come for it. You read her post, and after reading the post, you be like, "These people are trying." You just scroll up. You go to her status and be like, all these people always on the site. Does she have time for her life? And when they ask you, who do you want to connect with? I'm like, "Oh, I want to be a champion in real estate. If I can just connect with Madam Landlady," it's a lie. You're lying to yourself. You're not giving anything. You're not giving your time. The people you want to mentor you, they need to beg you to share their posts. They need to beg you to be in their sessions. Yet you come to their inbox and lie and say, "Oh, I've been following you for 2 years." No, you've not. You've not. You don't do anything. You don't comment. You're not visible. You're not giving your time. You feel that if Fee says, "Oh, take a screenshot and share it on your status and share it on this," you are promoting Fee. Yes, you are in a way, but then you doing that is you giving your time and your energy. Now, the last thing you can give is your money. I'm trying to check my time. There are 3 things to give. Everybody has these things. You may have it in different levels. Some people have less time and more money. Some people have more time and less money. Some people have more energy. Some people have less energy. But you have these 3 things. Everybody has it. There's nobody that will come here and say that he doesn't have money. You can say that you don't need to give shishi, but you have money. There's money, right? So everybody has money. You have some sort of money. So you find someone you want to connect with. I remember when I want to connect with someone that I really, really respected, John Obidi, right? I really respect him. Even till now, I was seeing him for the first time this Saturday in my life. I've not seen him before, right? And I saw that he had an inner circle mentorship. It was around 60,000 then. But I was sure that I wanted this relationship. What did I do? I went ahead and I paid. That was my first time of coming into some sort of close relationship with him. Why? because I needed that access, and I was ready to pay for it. Money is one way. There are several other ways you can pay to get access, but money is one of those ways. Some of you would see a session with someone that you want to have a relationship with, 2K, 5K, you will not attend. You won't attend. There are many sessions I've tried to be a part of. Why? Because I really want a relationship with the person. There are things to learn from the person. So I entered the session to learn, but after learning, also connect, also try to have some sort of relationship with that person. You can give your money, you can sponsor things. Some of you see a book is being launched, it's 2K. The person you want to connect with is launching a book at 2K. Can't you sponsor one person to buy? Can't you sponsor one person to be a part of that class? You need to use your money to work for you. You know, there was this story, a parable that was talked about how the people of this world are more wiser in these things. So there was a story told by Jesus himself about a particular servant. This servant had stolen money from his master, or rather has wronged the master. So the servant had wronged the master, and the master was going to let the servant go. The servant had wronged the master, and the master was going to let that servant go. But then something happened. When the servant knew that he was going to go, he did something. Do you remember the story? He did something. He called the people that were in debt to the master. People that were debtors, people that were owing the master money but had not paid. And what did he do? He canceled their debts. He canceled some of their debts. That's a money transaction going on there. He used his position to give some sort of succor to people. Why did he do that? He did that so that when he's being laid off his job, when he has been removed from his position, he will have a relationship with these people. And there's a way that particular story was concluded, that there are people that are able to use what they have, their position, their money, the things that they have, to buy relationship with people. This is not illegal. You can actually use what you have, the resources at your disposal, to get some sort of relationship with people. Provided it's not predatory, you're not coming there to harm them, right? You can use that to get some sort of access. So the three things you can give: your time, your energy, and your money. So ask yourself, how am I using my time to create this relationship I desire? How am I using my energy to create this relationship that I desire? How am I using my money to create this relationship that I desire? Ask yourself that. So this is when it comes to giving and serving. Give to people above you, give to people at your level, give to people that are your mentees, give to them, give them your time. Those that identify with me as mentees, those that are really my closest of circles, right? They know that if they're calling on me, I will give them the attention they need. They know that. I have made it clear repeatedly. So they can call me at any time because I'm able to give to them. Really important. Now, the last factor that is important, you can write down, that's number 4. If you want to connect, create, and manage profitable relationships, this is the last one I'll talk about for tonight, is what I'll call it honor. So you have to be able to honor, you have to be able to celebrate and appreciate your relationships. If you want your relationships to be profitable, you want to connect, you want to create, you want to manage profitable relationships, you must be able to honor those relationships. That's the first thing. Honor, celebrate, and appreciate the relationship. That means the person or the people. You can have it individual basis, the person. You have to honor. You have to honor these people. When you honor someone, you won't go ahead and say something that is not good about this person to another person. No, you won't. If you honor someone, to an extent, you protect the person. You protect the interest of the person. There's a friend that I tell this a lot, and I mean it a lot. I tell the person that if I am anywhere, you are taken care of. It's difficult to get someone that will say such a powerful statement about you. And if you get that kind of person, hold the person very tight. It's not just by words, you know. There's this confidence. There are people that I know that if I call on them, except it's not within their power, except it's not, They will look for anything. They will overturn and overturn and overturn until what I want is done. Why? Because they have some sort of vested interest, vested honor, vested relationship with me. They can go out of their way. And one thing I always tell myself and pray is that these people that can do these things for me, that I should be able to do the same for them and even more. That's why profitable relationships start with you. There's some of you that you want someone to do all these things I've talked about for you. When they say give, you'll be nodding and you say, yes, tell them they should be giving. You've not given anything. Now, I've said honor, celebrate, appreciate. You be like, yes, that's true. Very important. These are my friends, they don't honor me. You yourself, do you honor people? How honorable? Do you celebrate people? Someone in the US, is it, I don't know who is about releasing an album now. Is it Beyonce or Rihanna? One of them, right? Beyonce is about releasing an album and it's on your status, it's on your Twitter, it's on your WhatsApp status, it's on your Facebook, you have posted it everywhere. Album coming, this and that and that. Your friend that started a new business that is literally looking for more publicity, you have never talked about it. Never talked about it. But you be like, the queen is coming, the album in progress. That is fine. Celebrate people that are ahead. But don't forget the people that you say you have a relationship with. Honor them. Celebrate them. When they have a win, celebrate them. Tell them congratulations. Honor them, celebrate them, appreciate them. Tell them when they do something for you, tell them thank you. Of course, you know the way we are. They would say, why are you saying thank you? But still, the next time, still tell them thank you. Don't mind. They don't mean those things they're saying. Thank them when they do something for you. Thank them. Honor them. If you honor someone, you will not go to the person's back and say things that are bad. Instead, you will protect the person's interest. So if there are people that know that if I am in a room, in fact, the fact that someone can say something bad about your friend in your presence is already a problem. People should be afraid to say something bad about your friend because they know how vested you are in that friendship. Yes, even if what they're saying has an element of truth, yes, you will go ahead and ask the friend, but at that moment, in the friend's absence, your first commitment is to protect the interest of your friend. So protect the person's interest. So I can say that if something bad is being spoken about me, whether it is true or false, there are people that will first protect my interest. There are people that will first say, that will first look for a way to protect that interest before they try to confirm any other thing. So honor people. When you honor someone, you don't say bad about the person. When you honor someone, to an extent, you're able to be committed to the person's growth, right? And that's even part of giving. Being committed to the person's growth is giving. If you want a profitable relationship, be sure that you're giving to the person sufficiently enough to commit to the person's growth. You are a digital marketer, but you have a friend that's a data analyst. But every single place you see an opportunity for data scientists, what do? You send it to the person. What concerns you with data? Nothing. But because your friend is a data analyst, what do? If you see an opportunity that concerns data, you send to the person. In fact, you even go ahead and look for these opportunities and send. All right. So let me leave giving. I've talked about giving already. Let me come back to where I am. I'm an honor, celebrating, appreciating. So make it an intentional journey to honor the people you want to manage a profitable relationship with. Make it an intentional commitment to celebrate them. Make it an intentional commitment to appreciate them. Tell them thank you. Tell them when they have a win, celebrate them. All right. And even when they're in their low points, there's that responsibility to be there with them for that period. This works in several kinds of relationships. All right. So these are the ways you can create, manage, all right, profitable relationship. But then there's a very important thing I'll talk about very quickly before I end, right? And that's the fact that some of you are too concerned with connecting with people that are already influencers that you forget the influencers that are at your level. There are people that to an extent are already big, they're already out there. but all of them were at a level before. The people you see that they talk with now are those that connected with them at that level. So do not be so concerned with connecting with people that are already above you that you completely forget that there are also influencers at your level that are growing. They are growing. You can't come later and say, oh, I know this person. No, you know the person's name. You should be, make this a personal commitment that you will be a part of someone else's story. Make it a personal commitment that I must be a part of his growth journey. I must be a part of, there's Asha, there's Favor is my friend. There's Oluwa Busolaye. I must be a part of someone's journey. Make it a commitment. This is a big hack that you will be a part of this person's growth journey. If one person knows about John Obidi every day, if one person knows about John Obidi every week, let it be that one person came from seeing my status. So if he's doing something, I share it. I must be a part of his journey. Is a principle. This is a principle. This now is not just a tip, it's a principle. Why? It's a principle of giving, and it shall be given unto you. So you give, and it is given to you. That thing which you want, you're able to give. Intentionally be a part of the success story of someone, no matter who the person is. At least start with one person. You can be that for a lot of people, but start with one. Ask yourself this question: at this point in time, is there anybody that is currently becoming better because of me? Ask yourself that. Right now, as I'm sitting here listening to this session, is there anybody that is currently becoming better because I exist? Is there anybody that is currently having an easier life because I exist? Is there anybody that is currently progressing, is currently not being overburdened with things because I have taken a part of those things from him? I have decided to handle one part of it. So the person doesn't have to worry about this anymore because I have said that, can I take this from you? Sowing and reaping. Ask yourself that question. Is there any one person in the world right now that is becoming better, that is moving faster, that is having life easier, that is progressing, that his interest is moving forward because of me? If there's nobody, there's a problem. If there's nobody, there's a problem. There must be at least one person that is having a better life because you exist. This is how your relationship starts becoming profitable. All right. This is how you get to that point where you have profitable relationship. If you do these 4 things, let me do a quick recap. The first one is to recognize the need, to acknowledge that you need a relationship. Because if you don't recognize the need, you can't even honor what's the need of this relationship. So there's no honor there because you don't even know that you need it. The second thing is to become a person of ever increasing value. Why? Because the value that started the relationship in 2018 may not be what sustains that relationship till 2025. So you have to be a person of ever increasing value. That's the second point. The third point is you need to be a person that gives. And pick one person that you want to have a relationship with and give intentionally. Giving can be simple. You make comments on the post. You share the person's. These are simple things. People have had relationships from the online space. There are people I've not seen. I just said it not so long ago. There are some people I'm seeing for the first time on Saturday, but I've had some sort of relationship with them. Why? Because of there's a level of giving involved. That's the third thing. That's the third thing is giving, and the last thing is honor, celebrate, and appreciate the people that you want to have a profitable relationship with. I hope you got value from tonight. If you got value, let me know in the chat box. Just type value in the chat box. You can also take a screenshot of this session. It's not really easy. It's not easy to come here every Thursday at 10 p.m. with my turtleneck and try to speak for some time just to share some of these things that have helped us in times past, right? So take a screenshot, tag me on Instagram, on Facebook, tag me anywhere you share it. Tag me with exactly which of these things you want to improve upon. What would you like to improve upon? Among the things that I've talked about, what would you like to improve upon? Let me know. Do you want to celebrate your friends more? Do you want to honor your friends more? Do you want to give to your friends more? Do you want to, do you want to work on yourself? Because the second point is concerns not your friends but yourself. Because you attract the kind of, some people are complaining that, oh, all the people I have in my life, they're not serious with life. If that's what's happening to you, check your life. It's possible that there's a tiny bit possibility that you yourself are not that serious. Because people that are not serious will be uncomfortable around you. And that's the truth. There are some people that, to an extent, you can't be comfortable. You can't not want to move forward and be comfortable about me. It's not possible. I will so be on your matter that it's either you move forward or you just cut me off. You won't be calling me again because you know that if you call this anytime I call this fee, he will always say, "Oh, have you finished that course? Or have you done this? Have you done?" You can't even rest. You understand? So be very, very committed to move forward. There are people that have done this for me, and I can't really explain it fully. It's really, really amazing. People that would push for your name to be in certain places. People that would, I have enjoyed relationships, guys. I won't even talk about this if I've not experienced it myself. Where I am at this moment is a big product of relationships. I have enjoyed relationships. People will move my name forward. People would talk to other people for me. People would recommend me for things. It's amazing. But these are some things that you can do that would really help you to move forward when it comes to creating, managing profitable relationships. So thank you so much for being a part of the session tonight. Let me just say hi to some of you. Okay, I can see Esosa, I can see Gossitovi, Lottie, good to have you on board. I can see Favor, great to have you here. Madam Landlady, it's awesome to have you here. If you're here, please say hi to me. Let me say hi to you. I can see Alice, Alex, great to have you, Alice. Alice, are you a first timer? What are the first timers here? There's some names I'm seeing for the first time. Very first time, let me know in the chat box. let's give you puff puff. Favor has the puff puff. Favor Okole, send her a message. She'll give you the basket of puff. I can see Yakub, Ishmael. Yo, great to have you here. Every lover should look at it. Awesome, great. I can see Stephanie. Hello, Stephanie. Great to have you. Balkis is always here. Balkis is an amazing support system for me. I can see Adefa Emmanuel, Rukoyer, Precious, Kairat. Did I get that right? Kaira Bello, great to have you here. Ugo Chuku, great to have you here. Who else? Asha. Stephanie is the first timer. Stephanie, you're welcome. We meet every Thursday. This fellowship gathers. We meet every Thursday at 10 p.m. So yeah, you can be a part of next week's session too. Stephanie Chindo, great to have you. And yeah, thank you everyone for being a part of the session. I can see Jenny too. Hello, Jenny. Great to have you. Thank you all for being a part of the session tonight. I will see you next week, Thursday at 10 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your night.